we have the Q&A for the film Lizard Brain with writer, director, and lead actor, and probably many other hats, John Ebeling. Good to
Sure.
meet you.
So nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be a part of this.
You know what? Thank you for making a great film. I've said it too many times that without the films, there just isn't, like, the festival just isn't good without great films.
Mhm.
And I love your film. I think your film, you have such an innate sense of humor. And even though, I mean, and in your cover letter with the film, you talked about mental illness
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
subjects that the film deals with, but it's done in such a funny way, and your
Sure.
sense of humor really comes through. And in fact, I mean, I might be biased to someone who's watched it more than once, because I think each time you watch it,
Hmm.
like any sort of the discomfort that your character is going through,
Yeah.
like, because it's a little better at the end, like it's easier to watch him self detonate, because it's going in, so so
Somewhat
I
positive things, yeah.
I actually wish, I mean, I wish this for every film this year, but your film in particular, I bet the crowd reactions would have been so good. You would have gotten to sit there in the theater and just heard big reactions, people laughing as you do things, people, at the party, at the coffee shop. I mean,
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said. Thank you so much.
it's true. It's true. I mean, those moments, we've all been there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank
Very
you so much.
universal.
It's
And
so comforting to hear. Yeah.
I guess the standard Q&A thing to start on, instead of
Uh-huh.
listening to me talk about your film, is
No.
so this was your first film?
This was my first film to actually like write myself and write and direct myself. So yeah, I definitely wanted to make it my own, and I definitely wanted to do something that was insanely personal. And I've been kind of trying to maintain a friendship with my ex, or I had been. We kind of broke off for obvious reasons, but we tried to maintain a friendship for like a year and a half, and it was just very kind of bad for both of us, I'd say. And I said to her, I was like, "Hey, would you want to? I'm writing something kind of about this. Would you want to play yourself?" And she agreed to do it. And it wasn't circumstances like it wasn't exactly like what happened, but it was kind of a composite of a lot of different situations that I felt like I was in with her, and I just really wanted to like show what that was like and kind of be able to show in a very clear way the reasons for that happening, and the reasons why you get caught in a loop sometimes and you're chasing something even though it's unhealthy. So yeah, just kind of I had my friend knew a good DP that he suggested to me, and I used him, and he was incredible and basically held my hand through the whole thing. And then my current girlfriend now actually edited it, which she did an incredible job on. And I was surprised that she wanted to edit this movie, but she was a very good sport about it. We'll say that. But yeah, and then it just kind of came together like that.
For sure. Well, it's kind of I mean, it's a testament to you that the ex would want to play herself, and that the current, everyone joining in to help, I think, says, uh, expresses a, whether you notice it or not, like, that's toxicity free, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
But so you sat down and you wrote this one, and then you decided, okay, I'm going to make this and direct it myself, or
Yeah, yeah. I wrote it, and originally I was gonna have the DB direct it because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But then we kind of had we had some disagreements on where we wanted it to go, and he's like, you know what, it's your film, why don't you? You should just direct it. And so that's kind of how it happened. But yeah, I had this idea because I just wanted a simple kind of story just to kind of show everything. And that was something I always wanted to ask her. I still had all these letters from her, and I still wanted to ask her about these letters, but I always knew it would come crazy, and I kind of envisioned how it would go down if I did, and that's kind of how I got the idea for the original script. And then yeah, and then we shot it in a couple days, and yeah, um, and then just kind of pieced it together. We shot it. We recorded the audio with iPhones, which actually, I someone taught me they actually they record a really good sound because they're really close to your body, and they're very like, they shut out ambient noise because they're very kind of inherently directional. So we just kind of, I would strap it on my chest with like a ace bandage, and then my girlfriend actually was able to like piece it all together and smooth it out for me. So she's, you know, I could not have done it without her.
And yeah, that's amazing to hear, because yeah, it looks and sounds great. I mean, the
A
theme
lot of
of it and the humor of it really is distracting, but like very often with a film like
mm,
this during the Q&A in the theater, and everyone's talking about like how funny your character is, what it's like to watch him spiral, just watching him turn, and then the ex just looks at him and literally calls him on it and says, you know, the subject is so universal and identifiable. The Q&A always ends up being about the subject, and like
mm,
the film itself, it's a really well made film. Your DP did do a great job. It looks
thank,
great. As a director, your instincts were right on as far
oh,
as
thanks, man.
pacing and storytelling, and you know, just the interaction between all the characters is, it's so honest.
Thank you, man. Yeah, and I wanted to show that like sometimes, you know, sometimes you get dumped because you're kind of a prick, you know. To show that like you're not always it's not always you're dumped because they did something wrong, or like sometimes you just have to really look at yourself too, and you have to look at what you're doing and how you're coming across, and you know, and if you're not going to if you have problems and you're not going to therapy, it's like, you know, it's that's then it's your doing. It's you're asking for this. Like it's kind of up to every person who has issues like that, I think, to kind of work on themselves and kind of figure out what they're doing, you know.
For sure, yeah, and what he's doing is clearly healthy, because his friend, I love the friend, by the way.
Oh, and that's my real friend too, and his real house and his real dog as well. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Talk about, by the way, talk about dog acting.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
dog's
yeah.
performance, like, couldn't be possibly more on point, right? I mean,
Treats. It's amazing what treats will do.
but he's great, and like you're right. The humor between the friends, you know, is yet another thing that's, you know, it's not all squirm humor. It's like, I don't want to shake a hand that just went to the bathroom humor, which is
Right, right.
which
And this
is
is before COVID.
right. I know all this. It's wonderful to still see pre-COVID life.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
It's a nice little break sometimes.
But
But
so obvious questions that people raise their hands and ask in the theater is, so you, I love the iPhone thing, but
yeah, it's a great.
how was it a pretty long shoot? Because you have a couple locations and whatnot.
It was not a long shoot. I said originally 2 days, but it was more like, I think it was like it was like 2.5 days, because we did all of Bailey. We shot her out in a day. So we did the scene at my old work. I used to work at a burger place before the quarantine, and we shot there. And God bless them, Golden State, so the best burgers in West Hollywood. It's on Fairfax, but they were great. They let me use the space. Of course, we had, and then we did the party scene after that. So that was like a 1 day shoot, and then we did like my mom drove up and played the therapist. So we did the therapy scene and all the reactions on the phone and stuff. We did that like a different day. And then like a couple months later, we went back and shot like the alleyway scene with Ken, and then we shot the Cali, all the Cali stuff. So that was actually way later. That's just why my hair looks a little different in those scenes. But yeah, so it was like 2.5 days, but yeah, not too bad.
The hair is not a tell. I did not notice,
Yeah, thank you.
and I've
Yeah, it's
watched.
just it's just so crazy no matter what. So it doesn't really matter. Whatever
That
length, it
it
still looks
works.
crazy.
It definitely
Yeah.
works. Yeah, and I noticed in the credits that well, okay, that must be his mom playing the therapist.
Yeah.
She rock solid performance out of Mom.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah.
That,
It was fun. So she got to kind of come and see like how it was, because I thought, yeah, the therapist was only going to be in it a little bit, and she was so excited to play it, and and it came out, yeah, it came out great.
that's excellent. And did you get to watch this with an audience before the pandemic hit, or did the pandemic hit when you were in post?
We were the pandemic hit, and I was still changing stuff around until like May. I finally shored it up. So by then we were already in the thick of it. So no, I still have never really screened it in front of people. So I'm, it's so nice to hear, your thoughts on it, because you're always in your head after you make something.
Yeah, no, it's so different to watch it with other people.
Yeah.
Well, knock on wood, sometime next year we'll see.
Yes. Hopefully. Yeah. Exactly.
Any what am I okay, I mentioned the dog acting. And by the way, I love the mention of the title.
Oh
When
yeah. Thank you. Yes.
in the I love that drop. I'm actually a fan of the film title being a little piece of dialogue.
Yeah, thank you. I actually was gonna call it. It was called "Can't Have Both" originally, and my girlfriend, who was editing it, was like, "You gotta." She's like, we gotta do something about this name." I don't. She said that just sounds like every indie thing I've ever seen. You got to do something else. And I said, how about like lizard? She's like, what about something in the? What's something in the short? I said, lizard brain. Like, that's way better. Let's call it that. But yeah, it's well, I used to do that too with my ex when we were still seeing each other. With Bailey, I was seeing a therapist, and I'd often try to like use the therapist like to my advantage to win arguments, and it never went over well. It was always a bad move. So I was like, I gotta write that in
It's never a good move to say, my therapist said that you should react differently.
there. Yeah, exactly. My therapist said this is what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
My therapist, from
It's
what I told them.
see, it's an inherently funny film. As as much as it's that Apatow style squirm humor,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
but it's really, I gotta
Thank
tell
you
you,
so much.
I love it. In fact, I think it gets better with every viewing. So for everyone because if someone's watching us chat about it, it's because they just saw it in a block of comedies.
Mhm.
And I guarantee you, if you watch it again, you'll laugh harder and
Oh my,
laugh
thank
out
you so
loud a
much.
few more.
You are so kind. Thank you so much. You've made my year.
Hey, that makes me feel good. Thanks. Um, well, as warned, the last question for you is if there's anyone who collaborated on this with you who you didn't get to mention yet, if there's anyone who needs mentioning.
That's a great question. Yeah, there just the crew of people that came. I got extras to come free. I mean, they were also kind of. Angel was like the second cameraman, came and shot. Just yeah, everyone involved. My friend Brett Moline, who's also a filmmaker, like he's the one who hooked me up with the DP and everything. So, and the DP Eric was great. Yeah, I was so lucky. I really fell into a good group of people that really, as I said, held my hand through this. So, but yeah, thanks for that question, Jeff, because they really are made it possible.
Well, and I really appreciate what you said about the DP, where you were saying maybe he should direct, and then when he reverted back to you, I really think that's awesome that he did
Yeah.
that. That he said, you know what, I'm going to take this in a direction that you're not even going to be happy with, so you
Hmm.
direct it, and then
Yeah.
it came out just as it should.
Unbelievably classy dude. Yeah, Eric was like, you know what, like I don't, because even from the beginning, he's like, whatever, whoever's directing it didn't really matter to him. He was just like, let's make something together, and it was really cool of him to be like, you know what, this is it sounds like it's just more of your vision. Why don't we just keep it with you? So I am so thankful to him for that because he really didn't have to do that, and I'm happy he did, and I think the end result uh, was good, was good. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I wish I had all night to talk because that's one of the problems in the theater too. When we come up live and you sit down on the stage and we've got people asking questions, it's like, sometimes I wish that like a uh, a wealthy benefactor would just bankroll the theater for 2 weeks so we could show 15 minutes of films, then talk for an hour about each film. But
yeah,
fun. But thank you for
well,
the great work. Thank you for your film and all the others. It's an honor to have them in the festival.
Jeff, thank you so much for having me here. This was such a treat. I loved doing this. So thanks again. And it's so cool to see people who really care so much about, filmmakers and especially new filmmakers like myself. So I really appreciate that.
That's the exciting part.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
All
All right,
right.
well, it was a pleasure, and I will hopefully talk to you soon.
Dude, thanks again, man. This is so fun.
All right, thanks.